Hello friends, welcome to Digital Learning. So here we are starting our Java programming series. In this whole series, we will learn about Java programming language with programs. So this is our first session of Java programming series, and we are starting from software. So our first topic is software. What is software? What are the component of software? How we can implement any software? So our first topic is software. Software. So what is the definition of software? The software is a collection of programs. So definition is software is a collection of programs. Software is a collection of programs. For example, calculator. Calculator. Calculator is a software. Second point is what is programs? Program. The program is the collection of statements. What is the definition of program? Program is a collection of statement. For example, addition, subtraction. So these are our programs. Multiplication and division. These are our programs. For example, uh, for addition program, integer a equals to 10, integer b equals to 20, integer c equals to a plus b, and system dot out dot print ln. So these are our statement for addition programs. So for these for combination of these statement, we can implement a addition program. So this is our first statement, this is our second statement, this is our third statement, and this is our fourth statement. So these are our statement. Similarly, we can develop a subtraction program. For example, for subtraction program, we will use a minus b. So this is our subtraction program. Now, third one is what is statement? So what is the statement? The statement is the collection of instructions, or it is the combination of instructions. Statement is a collection of instructions. Example, integer a equals to 10. So this is a statement, and it is the combination of instruction. For example, integer is a instructions, a is a instruction, equals to is a instruction, 10 is a instruction. So now we have seen about what is the software, what are the parts of software, how we can implement a software. Now we will learn types of software. The second topic is types of software. Types of software. So our second topic is types of software. So there are 5 types of software. First one is web development. Second one is native development. Third one is mobile development, mobile application. Fourth one is desktop application. Fifth one is game development. Game development. So for web development, we can use Java programming language, PHP programming language, or we can use .NET, or we can use Angular, React JS, Node.js, etc. For native development, we can use C or C++, C and C++. For mobile application development, we can use example Android, iOS, Symbian. Symbian used in old Samsung mobile like Samsung Guru, then J2ME, Bada, sorry, Symbian used in old Nokia mobile and Bada used in old Samsung mobile like feature phones. Next, we can develop in Windows, which had used in Nokia mobile. Next one is BlackBerry. BlackBerry. Next one is desktop application. For desktop application, we can use Java, example Java, .NET, Python. We can use Python also for web development, Python. For game development we can either use for web development language or mobile application language. For game, if you are develop any, if you want to develop any game in web development, we can use Java, PHP, .NET, Angular, React, Node, or Python. If you want to develop any game in mobile technology, we can use Android, iOS, Symbian, J2ME, Bada. This type of programming language we can use for game development. Now, our next topic is types of programming language. Types of programming language. So first one is assembly language. Second one is low level language. Low level language. Or third one is high level language. High level language. So now we will learn what is the high level language and what is the low level language. So we will learn it by a diagram. So suppose there are two persons. This is our first person and this is our second person. This is person A. Person A, and he can speak only Hindi. So he know only Hindi. The second person is a person B. Person B, and he can speak only English. And suppose they want to communicate with each other. So how they can communicate? Because A know only Hindi and B know only English. In this condition, we will use a third person. So this is our third person. This is our third person, and it is a translator. Translator. And translator know both language Hindi and English. So what will do translator? He will what will do translator? Translator will get information from A, then he will translate into English and provide to B. After translating, he will assign to B. So first off, it will listen from A in Hindi. It will translate into English and assign to B. Then again, it will listen from B and now it will convert into Hindi and then it will assign to A. Same scenario will be applied on our system because our system our system know only binary language, and if we are user and we can provide only in English. So in this condition, we will require a translator. So there are two types of translator in programming language we use. First one is compiler and second one is interpreter. So what is the now we will learn what is the compiler, what is the interpreter. So both are used for translating from user language to system language. Means it will convert our source code to machine code, which understand by machine. So now we will see about what is the compiler and interpreter. What is the difference between compiler and interpreter? So here we will create a table, and this is the compiler compiler and interpreter. So what is the difference between compiler and interpreter? So the first difference is compiler convert any program at once, means at once it will be convert whole program. So compiler convert program at once, and interpret will be convert any program line by line. So it will convert program line by line. So this is the first difference between compiler and interpreter. The second difference is it is fast because it will convert whole program at once. So it is fast, and it is slow because it's convert line by line to any program. The third difference is it has less error finding possibility. Means suppose someone give you a paragraph and tell you give me, sorry, someone provide you a paragraph and tell you that give me, sorry, find out the error in a paragraph. So if we look at once, we cannot find more error, but if we read this paragraph line by line, we can get more error. So it has less error finding possibility, and it has high error finding possibility. It has higher error finding possibility. The fourth difference is compiler generate intermediate file. In Java, it will convert a dot class file. So it is an intermediate file. So it's generate a intermediate file, and it's convert directly our source program to machine code. So it's directly convert. So this is the difference between compiler and interpreter. Now our next topic is programming methodology. Programming methodology. Programming methodology. So there are two types of methodology. First one is POPs. POPs means processor oriented programming structure. And second one is OOPS. OOPS means object oriented programming structure. So now we will learn about difference between POPs and OOPS. So now we will create a table to understand difference between OOPS and POPs. So this is our table. So it is POPs, and it is OOPS. So first difference is POPs. It is a processor oriented programming structure language. So first difference is processor oriented processor oriented programming language, and it is a object oriented programming language. It is object based programming language, object oriented programming language. The second difference is it's execute top to bottom. So execution is top to bottom, and its execution is bottom up. Bottom up. The third difference is uh, in processor oriented programming language, the program are divided into units called function. So program are divided into function. Third difference is in OOPS, the program are divided into object. Program is divided into program is divided into function and program divided into object. The fourth difference is, this is our third difference. The fourth difference is it has no access specifier, means all variable and function are public. So anyone can access directly. So no access specifier. In OOPS has three types of access specifier. So three types of access specifiers. First one is public. Directly we can write public, private, protected, and if you are talking about Java, it has four types of access specifier: public, private, protected, and default. So Java has four types of access specifier. The next difference is this is our fifth difference. The main focus is how to done a task. The main focus is how to done a task. And here the main focus is security. The main focus on security. Now, sixth difference, it is do not support, means POP does not support inheritance. So do not support inheritance. We will learn about inheritance in further video, so don't worry about it. support inheritance. The next difference is no data hiding and security. It has no data, no data hiding and security. It has data hiding, it has data hiding, data hiding and security. Security. The next difference is it does not support polymorphism. So, POP does not support, sorry, do not support polymorphism. Polymorphism. It has polymorphism. Polymorphism. The next difference is data is shared by function. All data shared by in POPs by function. So data shared by function in POPs. Data shared by function. Here in POPs, data shared by object. Data shared by object. And the last difference is example. Suppose example C. C is a processor oriented language. VB, Visual Basic. Next one is Fortran, Pascal. And Pascal. Here example is C++, Python. So Python is support both OOPS and POPs. C++ also support both programming structure or both programming methodology, OOPS and POPs. So C, here we can mention Python also, because Python also support both OOPS and OOPS. C, Python, Java. Java is a pure object-oriented language. .NET. Then .NET also a object-oriented programming language. So this is about OOPS and POPs. Now our next topic is how we can execute any program. So suppose if we want to execute any program like C, C++ and Java, so how it will execute? So we will understand by a diagram. So suppose so this is our program. So if we implement in C, we will save as a .c, and if we implemented in C++, we will use .cpp. So suppose our program name is X and we are developing in C, so we will save as .c. And if we develop uh, we have developed in C++, we will use CPP to save this program. So this is called source code, source code or user code. Now the second step is uh, now we will compile it. So for compilation, we can use either compiler or interpreter. So what will do compiler or interpreter? It will convert our source code to machine code. So this is our machine code. This is called machine code. This is our machine code. And here we will use compiler or interpreter. For example, we are using compiler. So compiler will do two things. First off, it will convert our source code to machine code. Then it will check for header file. Suppose we are using any function in our programming language. For example, we are using scanf, printf in C programming. So it will load function related to, it will load all function related to this code. Means it will check whether you have provided your library related to functions. For example, in C, scanf and printf. So it will check for studio library. Or if you are developing any application in C++, and if you are using cout scene, so it will check for stream, and after checking it will load into your program. So compiler will do two things. First of, it will check for header file. Second one is it will convert our source code into machine code. So compiler will perform two tasks simultaneously. So after compilation, it will convert into machine code. So this is also called object code. So we can say that this called is object code. Object code. Now we will run our program. So it will be converted into executable file. So this is called executable file. So it will generate a executable file. Uh, Executable file, and after generate executable file, it will assign to our system to print output. So this is our system, and here we can see our output. output. So this is the general diagram to execute any program like C, C++, or Java. So this is the about sorry, these are the basics about any Java programming language. So this is enough for the day. Thank you for watching this video.